Why don't we jump in? I sent you the questions.
Okay.
I don't know if you had time to look at them.
I purposely never look at questions.
That's great. Question number one. What's the top three lessons did your father or a mentor leave you with that you feel is still relevant and more needed in today's digitally connected world?
My father taught me the concept of noblesse oblige. That is, those who are fortunate have a moral responsibility to help people who are less fortunate. And so that was hammered into me from, I don't know, about day one, but very, very early in my life. And so I can't tell you I've always exactly personified that, but I am very cognizant of that. And that's number one, two, and three. I mean, if you get that one right,
No,
everything else
absolutely.
flows.
Second question is, what's your favorite activity with your kids that would probably surprise a lot of people who are Guy Kawasaki fans or people in general?
Well, see, up to the part where you said it would surprise people who are familiar with me, the answer was easy. Basically, four of my kids, all four of them surf. So our favorite, at least my favorite activity is surfing with them. I can't tell you that their favorite activity is surfing with me, but I get no greater pleasure out of anything, any travel, any car, any, food, wine, whatever. Nothing comes close to surfing with my children.
Excellent. Looking back, what would you have changed in how you were involved as a father to your children, considering the huge responsibilities and sacrifices that you had as the CEO, as a leader, and the intense
Yeah.
schedule that you had?
I guess, with the first child, I used to read to him a lot when he was a baby, and you're growing up. The second child, I read less. The third child, I hardly read any. The fourth child, you know, so I wish I had done that.
To continue
But
reading more.
yes, orally reading to them.
Okay. So being a well-known and respected investor,
I don't know
do
about
do
the
you
respect.
well, I mean, to the point, but I mean, do you believe it's right for a parent to invest financially in their kid's startup? Is it a conflict of interest or a duty to support no matter what? If no, how do you believe should be the best way?
Well, we have two extremes, right? So one extreme is conflict of interest. The other is like a moral obligation. I would say I would be much closer to the moral obligation side of that equation than a conflict of interest. Conflict of interest implies that if you are investing in your children, you're doing something morally wrong. I'm wrapping my mind around that concept.
Yeah.
Like, uh, if you won't invest in your kids, who else will?
No, it's a
um,
good.
now, to me, conflict of interest is, let's say you're president of the United States and, you own a hotel and you have diplomats stay in your hotel. That's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Um, I think investing in your children is an alignment of interests.
That's good. What I was trying to say, in a way, just to continue
Yeah.
the point, I guess, is, do you feel that it's good schooling in general, or parenting in a sense, that they go out there and they earn their way out on their own without having mom or dad actually foot the bill for them automatically?
Oh, okay. That's a different question.
Yeah, roughly.
Uh,
This is what I meant.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Because in the first instance, I was thinking that, you're not just funding the whole thing. You're, one of
Yeah.
several investors. Uh, I mean, even then, I still, if my daughter said,
So
I want to start a business, Dad, and I need, I don't know, pick a number. Well, not millions, but let's say she said, I need to buy $10,000 worth of equipment. I guess there's a line of reasoning that says, oh, if you raise five, I'll loan you five, or some matching kind of whatever. This would be the
yeah.
DADStarter.com. Um, on the other hand, I, I cannot tell you that if my kids asked me to do that, I would have the cold heartedness to say, I certainly won't have the cold heartedness to say, I won't help you at all. Do I have even the cold heartedness? Do I have even the cold heartedness to say that I won't invest more than a high percentage? I don't think so. I mean, at some level, if if they really needed the money and they couldn't raise the money, I'd probably write the check.
You're
To
a
tell you
good
the
dad.
truth. To tell you the truth, yeah.
You're a great
Well,
dad.
I want someone to visit me in my nursing home and wipe. When I'm drooling all over myself, somebody's got to wipe that up. So,
That's a good point. It's a good point. I'm just going to flip it a bit. While keeping with the kids here, this is a question I've asked every CEO and every leader, and they seem to
yeah,
enjoy this one. But the word no is an extremely powerful word in business.
yeah.
But how does its meaning work with your children, or do you believe in the opposite of yes?
Listen, I very seldom tell my kids no. So I'm a bad dad. My wife calls me the Disney dad, where whenever you're around me, it's like being in Disneyland.
So,
Uh, Having said that, I mean, if you're not going to spoil your kids, why not? I mean, why work? So I hope I don't. I hope I don't spoil them to the point that I've had a truly negative effect on their values and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not a good example of taking the hard ass. You have to earn it. One of my lessons in life. My father was a very powerful politician in Hawaii, so he definitely got me opportunities that, was pure nepotism or pure, because of who he was. But one of the things that I learned is it's not how you got in; it's what you do once you got in.
yeah,
So, if you got in because your father's a powerful politician, but you're a total screw up, you are still a total screw up. On the other hand, uh, if you truly merited because of your work experience and your education, the position, and then you screw up, that's still screwing up. So, question is, are you competent? I mean, do you deliver once you're in, not how you got in?
it's a good one. I like that. There's going to be some nice quotes in there.
Okay.
But do you feel that mothers who are CEOs have it harder at balancing their work-life duties than dad CEOs?
Yes, absolutely. I think that society, for whatever reason, understands when a dad is totally dedicated to business and basically doesn't fulfill his true total fatherly role. I think society is a lot less understanding if a mother did that. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I
Oh,
think that's a
it's
fact of life.
yeah, of
Listen, I fundamentally believe that women would make better CEOs.
course.
Because I think they're better leaders. I think that they don't have this male desire to kill stuff, this male desire that if I lose you win, and if I win you lose. I don't think that's the psyche of most women. I would love to have a woman president.
So, what traditions have you continued with from your childhood with your kids?
Oh,
Is there
huh.
anything that you've continued? Or have you created new ones? There you go. I mean, I'll make it easy on you.
We have. Well, I tell you, some of the happiest days of my life when I was a kid growing up in Hawaii. We had a little beach apartment, and it was just the biggest deal to go to this apartment that we owned. Sometimes we rented it out, sometimes we did it. So that's some of the happiest times of my life. And right now, we live in one part of Northern California, but we have a house in Santa Cruz. And every weekend we go to Santa Cruz. That's where I am right now. That's why
All
you see
right.
all the surfboards behind
Yeah.
me. So I can't tell you it's a conscious, let's continue this tradition, but it has happened, and it has brought me great joy.
Are you teaching your kids about business, investment, money management? And can you let us know what kind of tips that you might have?
I mean, to some extent, I've taught them about bank apps and this kind of stuff, but you know, I'm a if you're saying, have I sat them down and explained, this is how venture capital works, this is how a checking account works, this is how
Yeah.
all this stuff works, like you would think a good father would do, the answer is no. What can I say? Do you have kids?
Yeah, I got a daughter. She's turning 15 soon. So
Okay,
I know
so
exactly what you mean.
yeah, Well, I don't know about you, but I have 4 children. And when you're first a dad, I think you say, you want them to have the right education. You want them to be creative, to express themselves, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Go to the right school, all this kind of stuff. Well, by the time you have 4 children and they're in their teens or 20s, I say a good day is nobody called from the hospital to tell me they're hurt. Nobody called me from the police department to tell me they were arrested. That's a good day.
That's the whole thing. Have you ever heard the old expression about you can keep your son off the bowl and your daughter off the pole, then you're halfway there. It's you're CEO, you're a leader, but in your house, who's the CEO?
Oh, my wife. I mean, she's CEO, chairman of the board, largest shareholder. What else?
CFO, everything else, right?
CFO.
Um,
In my house, I function as the ATM and Lyft driver.
Having such a busy schedule, how do you make time at home count with your kids? I mean, do you take them with you on business trips? And if you do, what do you guys do? How does it work in general from home? And do you sometimes take them on business trips with you?
I never take them on business trips because the nature of my business trip, 99% of the time is I fly in one day, I sleep, I get up, I speak, I leave.
Yeah.
So, and that could be whether I go to, Barcelona or whether I go to Los Angeles. So I never take them on business trips. It's just, as I said earlier, once I'm home, I'm home. I don't go to an office.
So how do you unplug with your kids with what's now more and more of a digital world where everyone is glued to a screen or a portable phone or something like that? How do you guys have specific unplugging?
Well, you assume that we have that. That's a false assumption.
Yeah.
But if push really comes to shove, I have an Xfinity app that I can, by device, turn off internet access.
Now that is something I need.
Yeah, Xfinity Comcast has that, so I can pick my son's phone and stop internet access.
It's no secret that you got a big love for hockey, from what I read somewhere. I know your kids are surfing, is what you said, but have you managed to convert some of them into hockey playing with you, or?
Well, no, my oldest son got me into hockey. My 2 oldest boys started playing hockey, so I played hockey.
In California?
I played hockey in California. I played hockey 2, 3 times, 4 times a week for 15 years. And then I found surfing. So my oldest son is now into hockey still. In fact, he played semi-pro hockey in Australia.
Wow.
My second son is into wingsuiting, which I will never do. My daughter is into surfing, which I do 4 times a week. And my youngest son, who's 14, he does everything. So he's surfing, skateboarding, and anything with a board he'll do.
So it's a very active family, which is great.
We're a very active family, yeah.
That's great. I got one here that it's a nice twist, but I mean, you're famous for your 10-20-30 rule on pitch decks.
Yeah.
Do you have something similar for being a good dad CEO?
No, I mean,
that would be a good one. I think that'd be a book in itself.
Yeah, just show up.
Any last thoughts, tips, advice, whatever? I mean, this is a free flow. I'm giving you a free one that you can.
So I think that something to consider is that you should never ask your kids to do something that you would not do. So that would be that's a good test for being a father, for being a CEO, for being a spouse, whatever. If you wouldn't do it, don't ask anybody else to do it. Except they should fly coach and I should fly first class. But other than that.
Thanks for everything. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Great. Cheers. Take care.
See you later. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Same to you.